Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Growth Sessions with me, Cody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's talk about shitty days. Let's talk about those low down, dirty, feeling worthless type of shitty days. Let's talk about how those days are still going to come about, even if you're vibing high or if you're feeling good or if things are going well in your life. You're still going to have those days where it's hard to get out of bed. I have those days when you don't feel connected, those days when you feel undeserving and that negative self-talk starts coming up. And, I'm talking about a little bit something different than, if you have depression issues or if you have some serious mental health issues that, of course, that you'll need some further help when something like that comes along, because those aren't just bad days. Those can turn into bad weeks, months, and years, right? And I've had those issues, so I understand how difficult those days can be, and those times, and those months and years, like I said. So, but this one I want to talk about a little bit something different. I want to talk about those days when things seem to be going all right, but yet you wake up and you're off. You don't feel good. Things are feeling, you just get that weird feeling in your body where you just don't feel connected, and you feel despondent and irritable and frustrated, and you don't want things to be going a certain way. And I had one of those days. I actually had one of those days yesterday. I had a real struggle yesterday, and I was actually very emotional. I shed some tears. I very much didn't want to feel the way I felt, so I started telling myself and giving even more negative self-talk, and why are you feeling this way, and getting trapped in that cycle and feeling disconnected from my vision, and doing all of these things where I just was feeling off. And when you're in those days, you feel trapped, and you feel like you can't really do anything about it. And, I did do a lot of the things that I do when I'm feeling off. I meditated, I exercised, I tried to, avoid the election, which was, was more difficult than I planned it to be. But honestly, it wasn't even that part. It wasn't anything about going on with the election or any of those types of things. I just felt off. I felt sad. And, but this time, one of the things that I do differently, right, is I share it. Like, I have an amazing wife who I can open up to, and I can shed some tears, and I can be real, and I can be vulnerable. And, at the time, it didn't make me feel that much better, but it allowed me to release a lot of the things I had going on, and allowed me to have a sounding board, someone who I trusted, someone from the outside who can actually help me and give me advice. And, at first when things are going wrong with me, I don't want to listen to advice. I don't want people to help me. Or the first thing I think in my head is, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. But, I've learned to counteract that. And I've learned to not think of it that way. And I took it in, and the day was shitty, and I wasn't feeling any better. And you know what I did? I went to sleep early. I was like, this day's done. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. I want tomorrow to be here sooner rather than later. So I was tired. I was worn out. And so I went to sleep. I went to sleep at like 8 o'clock, 7:45. And I got a great night's sleep. And I actually woke up feeling kind of off again. But you know what I did is this time I really doubled down on my morning routine and my self-care. And I allowed myself to really get inside of my self-care and really try to start talking positive to myself. For me, what it looks like is I'll listen to affirmations in the morning. I exercise. I try to do a little bit of reading. I meditate. I do some breath work. And today, that helped me so much. So much. And I look at that where I was yesterday to today, it's like night and day. And at some points, I'm like, this is really weird. Like, why do I feel so much better? I was so much in the dumps yesterday. I felt so just out of touch and not connected, like I said, and just feeling like, I'm just not doing what I should be doing. And, you're worthless. And all of these things happen. And what I did is I allowed myself to think that tomorrow would be a better day. And sometimes that doesn't work, right? Sometimes tomorrow is shitty too. Sometimes the next day is shitty too. But what you do is you keep trying to do the self-care that works for you. And I don't care what that is. Like, it doesn't have to be what I mentioned. I mean, it can be journaling. It can be hanging out with your kids in the morning. It could be eating a healthy breakfast. It could be saying a prayer. It could be whatever it looks like for you. Just always come back to those things because they will help you. that you are going to be in points and you are going to be in times when you're going to feel like shit. And I had one of those days, and I did not like that day. It was just all around. I just could feel it in my body. Something was off, and I just wasn't happy. But those days are going to happen, right? And now it's like I just felt so much that I needed to preach this message. Like they talk about like, oh, tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. Well, tomorrow really was. Today really was a new day for me. You know, I woke up feeling vibrant. I woke up feeling better. I allowed myself to not be so hard on myself. I was well rested. I did my routine like I talked about. I gave my kids a big hug. Things had changed. Like it was different. And it was so much, I was just hoping for a little bit of change. And sometimes it is just a little bit of change, but a little bit of change is big change because you're not feeling exactly the same way that you did before. But today it was amazing. And I just felt so much better. And it was such a good reminder that if you still focus on your routine, or you still focus on your self-care, and I know a lot of people, I didn't do it up until recently, didn't do any self-care. I would just wallowed in it. I would have woken up the next day by my kids. I would have been right back in it. You know, I wouldn't have allowed myself to have that space and that moment and that time to take a deep breath. God, deep breathing is like my favorite thing. If you're not doing any type of breathing, any type of sort of breathing to regulate your nervous system and, you know, all of that type of stuff, like I really recommend doing breath work. There's just amazing, phenomenal people that you can find online. There's very simple tricks that you can do in a matter of minutes. They're not tricks. They're simple things you can do with breathing that can just really help you. So if you don't do any breath work, do that. And your routine doesn't have to be crazy, or whatever you're doing to get yourself to try to feel better. It doesn't have to be super long. It doesn't have to be an hour long. It can be 5 minutes. It can be 10 minutes. Just that time for you, right? And just always come back to that, even on the hard days. And I'm one of these people who needs to take that message in. Some days I sleep in a little bit longer and I don't do my routine, and I feel it. I feel it. If I don't do some self-care, I feel it now. I'm so accustomed to it, and it's such a part of who I am that when I don't do it now, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It kind of is just, I have to do it now. And so if I can give you some advice, if I can give you some love, some hope, some understanding, is just keep hope alive. Like those shitty days are going to happen, and it's okay. It's okay. Feel those emotions, feel that way, take a nap, cry it out, share with somebody. If you just want to put your head under a pillow and just cry, or, you know, just put a blanket over your head and just do nothing, then that's fine too. But just remember that it will get better. It will get better. And whether it's the election that's messing with you right now, or COVID, or the state of the world, or any of those things, always come back to hope. Always come back to peace. Always come back to love. Always come back to the understanding that the world flows with all of those things if you allow your energy to see it, if you allow your mind to see it. It's okay to wallow. It's okay to feel like shit. I should be listening to myself right now, because yesterday I did not feel like it was okay, but I know it is. And so I hope this video can help you just a little bit, give yourself some relaxation and some comfort, and a remembrance that the hard days will come, but the good days will come back too. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. I will see you next Sunday. I got some big plans for this YouTube channel. I'm gonna be stepping it up a notch, so I'm excited. I've got things working on it right now. So look in the next few weeks, maybe 3 weeks, for some big changes. Same message, same me, just stepping it up a notch. All right, I love you guys. Be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. I'll see you soon. Bye.